Welcome back to Slovakia. After what was ultimately a successful season, we're going to do a bit of a rebuild here and maybe move on to a different club if the opportunity presents itself. Stay tuned for more. Right, so this is the current team, and these are the ones that I want to keep. Only two players in the starting 11 that I'd like to keep, Adua and Malasec, and on the bench, Miklajevski ideally will drop down. We've got Klupp sitting on the bench still as well after a fairly successful campaign. And Jan Mazaros, the youth academy product, he looks fairly good for a deep lying playmaker. I'd like to keep him around. And then lastly, probably not as a bench option but as a depth option, Jakub Ferenic, because he can play centre back, centre defensive mid, and further up in the midfield as well. So he's handy to keep around. And he's from the academy, and I like keeping those players around if I can. Which means that after these 6 loans expire and these 7 contracts expire, we'll only be left with Puccini, Sifnios, Sterber and Kozlovsky to move on. I know Sifnios has been banging in the goals for us and he's been fantastic since he's come in, but the end to the season is really why I'm not wanting to keep him around. Well, he did score quite a few though. Yeah, the Baron run there, which was pretty awful. Maybe we'll keep him on the bench. Maybe he can be our backup striker and we'll get a proper good striker in over the top of him. He's on just under £500 a week, so not too cheap, but for the servant he's been, I think I'm going to keep Sifnios in actually. So just 3 to move on. So if you look above my little shiny head, we've got a little shopping list now. Starting goalkeeper, right back, 2 starting centre backs and a left back. A starting defensive midfielder, maybe 2. A starting CM or AM if we want to move to a 4-2-3-1. A right winger, a striker, and then a load of bench players. After looking at that, I think I'm going to make another change to my plan and keep Kozlovsky, meaning we don't have to sell him. So I'm going to take him off the transfer list that I've just put him on. Hopefully I haven't upset him. I'll just say it was a mistake. So Kozlovsky's going to stay on the bench, which gives us one less thing to do. So with the finances not looking fantastic, still over £500,000 in debt, we're going to have to get to the end of June, get all these contracts expired out the door, and then get the trial farm in and just keep getting as many players in on trial as we can to see who we can bring in. Maybe now with Europa League football to tempt players, we'll actually get some people who want to come in who are actually fairly good. In the meantime, I think I'm going to keep one eye on the job market and see what comes up. We're now sitting at 25% reputation. I don't know how important that is. I'd imagine quite a lot. So I'm going to try and apply for all these 2.5-star teams and see if any of them come back. We're currently a 2-star team, of course. And if we do get any interviews, I'll update you when we do. And this is exciting. We're back with an offer for a job interview from Bellinzona, who are a Swiss team. Looks like they have a lovely little stadium. 5,000 capacity. Never managed in Switzerland before. They've just finished below Vaduz, obviously the Liechtenstein team, and just above the relegation zone. Looks like they've not been the most successful team in Switzerland in the most recent past. They did win the top league in 1948. They were promoted from the lower divisions in 2022 and haven't been in the top flight since 2011. Looks like they might have had some financial difficulties in 2013, which saw them relegated down to the 3rd and then the 5th tier. And then they were promoted to the 4th tier. Bellinzona. They have a Ticino derby against Lugano in the top flight, so maybe that would be a nice little storyline. It might be a sideward step, but it's one I'm willing to entertain, I think. We'll be moving down from a top flight to a 2nd tier. I'm not 100% convinced. I'm going to do the interview and see what else comes up, but I'm not 100% sold on them. They just want to attempt to avoid relegation from the 2nd tier, which isn't exactly what I'd be looking for. I'm not entirely sold on Bellinzona, but it is a good sign that we're actually getting job interviews. I've applied for a whole host of jobs, so hopefully one of these better teams will get back to me. Bellinzona on the lower end of priority. I think I'm going to apply for a few more as well. Doesn't look like we'll be sticking around Puchov for much longer, sad to say, but Marek's only given me less than 10 grand still for the upcoming campaign, and realistically we're going to lose in the Europa League qualifiers and the Conference League qualifiers and then come second to Slovan Bratislava again, so there's not much more to achieve. I think we've done very well in the time we've had here. Westerlo is an interesting one in Belgium. I'm just going to keep applying. I'll be back soon. Haven't heard anything more on the job front back yet, but I've been arranging friendlies and I've been thinking it's not exactly the best time to do a rebuild with the European qualification games coming up, you'd have thought. I'm not really sure what round we're going to be in either. It's not very clear. I feel like the lion's share of the squad are the players that got us promoted from the second division, so really we should be moving on from that sort of calibre. It's a catch-22, but hopefully we get a job at a bigger club and it's not my problem anymore. Now this is interesting. Bellinzona have approached me with a £200,000 transfer budget and an increase in the wage budget, but not by a lot. They're not the most ambitious club in the world, but Marek has come in to discuss my future. He's going to try and discuss terms to keep me at the club, so let's attend this. I would be willing to stay if the wage budget was more generous. We are not willing to consider this, Crest. Well, I think he's called me bluff then, because I don't really want to go to Bellinzona. I'm going to delay. I think I might want to go to Bellinzona more than Puchov. I don't know. It's a difficult one, because I've never managed in Switzerland before. It's a sideways step, definitely, even though the reputation is slightly higher. The bank balance is less of an issue though, and the facilities are a little bit better. And Switzerland would be kind of fun. We'll delay for now and see what else comes up. I'm just having a comparison of the leagues. The League Bellinzona are in currently are 47th in Europe. The league that Bellinzona are currently in are 47th ranked in Europe, but the Swiss Premier League is 15th, so promotion would be a little bit of a jump because the Slovakian league is down in 26th. So we might have to make a step back to make a step forward eventually. A lot of these teams that I've applied for coming back is unsuccessful. Partick Thistle, Plymouth and Watford don't want me. So maybe Bellinzona is the only option that we have. Because Partick Thistle are a 2-star club and they've even turned us down. So maybe it's the only one that are available to us. Still no other job interviews and Bellinzona have come in for us again. We've got one more delay which we're going to take. Oh, it's a difficult decision. A very, very difficult decision between Puchov and Bellinzona. Well, here we are. Decision time. I don't know what to do.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
Of course we ain't leaving. It's MSK Puchov. We need a better job than Bellinzona and the second division in Switzerland to leave here. We're better than that. Now this is interesting. Team in the Deutschland, Netherlands, who I would actually go to probably. They're in a lot of debt though. Wow. They can't pay our release clause. So I'm going to ask if Marek will release my release clause, but I don't think so. If you won't let me leave, I'll have no choice but to resign and the club will get no compensation at all. I don't think the job's that good to ruin my reputation with the MSK Puchov board. If it was somebody like, I don't know, in the second division in Germany, I probably would do that, but not for a massively in-debt Dutch team. I respect your decision, Marek. Another job interview, this time from Heracles Almelo. They look like they have a lovely little stadium, just like the stadium that we had for the final of the Slovakian Cup. I like these sort of purpose-built little small stadiums. I think they're really nice for some reason. They are also they've just been relegated from the Eredivisie, but they have a lot more money. They're a much, much bigger club. I'm going to attend this interview, and I would definitely go to these if they did come in for us. I like the Dutch league. Registration time for the Europa League, and we're just going to click auto select and see what happens. We need a squad size of 15. I'm going to try and get this guy from the youth academy up into the first team. It says he's left winger, but he's got 4 crossings, so no chance he's playing left wing. I'm thinking more of the attacking midfield role that I was debating playing with the 4-2-3-1, because he looks much more suited to that. He looks pretty good for that role. We're in the preliminary round. Bloody hell, right. So when's the preliminary round start? The preliminary round must be the first qualifying round? Because I can't see anything else on here. Oh, never mind. It's on the schedule already. The 6th and the 13th for the first qualifying round. So not too far in the future, and hopefully we have an 11. I'm going to see if we do have an 11, and then I might even give a few contracts to players that I wasn't going to so that we can field a team. Right, with that in mind, I've cobbled together this sort of team. We've got a couple of youth players in, and we've switched to the 4-2-3-1 as we thought we might. I've tried to give Chauvin another contract so we have a keeper for that game in a couple of weeks in the Europa League, but he didn't want to sign one. I messed that one up a little bit. I tried to give him a short contract than he wanted because he's getting on a bit, but he wasn't having that at all. So hopefully we can keep him before his contract expires in a few weeks' time. I've also upset Sterber because I was trying to force him out, but he's had to come back into the team. I put him down the under-19s, but he's back now. And we've got this kid from the academy, Weiss. He can play at right back. He's not the best right back in the world, but he'll have to do. Kosmalski's going to come in as the attacking midfielder. We've got Mazaros and Malasec in the midfield as well, and we've got a lot of youth players on the bench. So that's what we've got. If we want to try and revamp the squad, this is what we're going to have to deal with in the Europa League qualifiers. I don't have much faith, but we'll see. Now this is an interesting one. I don't think I applied for Spartak Trnava, but they've offered me an interview. I don't think we're going to go there. They're in even worse finances than we are. They have a nice stadium, but I think we're better than them. We proved it in the league and we beat them several times, so I'm going to turn them down. We're very impressed with your fantastic performance at Mato Puchov, which is why we've identified you as one of our top candidates. Well, I don't blame them. They have very good taste, but I'm going to decline the interview. Sorry, Spartak. And Sky Sports have asked me a little interview question. I didn't feel like it was right under my circumstances. It wouldn't have allowed me to go forward with them because of my loyalty to my Slovakian team, MSK Puchov. Looks like we're not going to Heracles. They've got a bid in for this man, and it looks like we'll be staying at Puchov at least for the first European game. Arka Gdynia have offered me a job interview, but I've got that going on in a different save with that exact same team, so I'm not going to accept that one, sadly, even though it's one of my favourite Polish teams. But UPenn in Belgium have offered me a job interview, and they look very financially secure. A loan debt of 48 million though. That's interesting. They are in the top division of Belgium, or they were, they've just been relegated. That's a hell of a drop off. From 8th in the world reputation to the second tier, 54th, is a bit of a drop off. I don't know if I want to go to them now, but I'll go to the interview and see if they come back with anything. If you're curious about what I do for the interviews, I do it as fast as this and just click accept, agree, and convince for everything. Chauvin has strong-armed me as a keeper, that's quite apt, into giving him a 2-year contract so that we have a keeper in for the Europa League games. He's 32 now. It means we don't need a backup goalkeeper, at least for another 2 years. I don't think I'm going to be there that long, but he's in for another 2 years at least. Ooh, Oberhausen in Germany, the third tier of Germany, have offered me a job interview. I have never ever managed in Germany in all my years playing Football Manager. They're in the third tier of Germany, so this would be a little bit of a step down. But the second tier of Germany is on par with the Slovakian top tier. And if we can turn them around into a promotion-winning team, Oberhausen might be what we're looking for. They have a fierce rivalry with SN, RWSN. I like it when they have a rivalry with somebody. They are in the non-playable leagues by the look of it. They must have just been relegated because I've seen them around, surely. Yeah, they've just been relegated from the third tier. I will definitely be attending this job interview. This lad is 100% the Croatian Paddy the Baddy. Look at that hair. Anyway, moving on. A load of regulars leaving then. Kostrana, he is 34 years old. He's gone. Simko, another right back from the promotion season. Aleshnik, he's out the door as well. He's basically the same player as Klups, and we're going to keep Klups, so he's going to be out the door. Lipinski, never liked him, couldn't get rid of him. Skrabonja leaves back to his parent club after his loan expires. We're going to keep Poutini around for now, and Baraji is leaving to Spartak Varna in Bulgaria very soon. Another one that I've been looking at a few times, Datko. I've tried to sign him before, but maybe we can get him now. What a head of hair he has. Makes me envious. I am trying desperately to sign Dakko. Look at all these clauses I've got included. Can we get any more in? I'm just going to put them all up to the max. I want him in just for his hair. We did it! Look at all these clauses. It's probably not worth it, but we've agreed a contract with Dakko. I've been trying to sign that keeper Yakubu from Zemplin, who was featured in the first episode of this season just gone. And now Sparta Prague have come in as well, so the chances we get him are decreasing by the day. And now a Turkish team have come in for Datko as well. Get me out of here. Look who it is! Little Pete, he's retired and he's turned into a scout. He hasn't got a club after being released by us. And he's since retired. He doesn't look like a bad one either. We're going to try and get him in. I'm going to get him in not just as the scout, but as the chief scout. And the Oberhausen interview has been unsuccessful. They went for this fella instead. And Upin has also been unsuccessful. So it looks like we're staying, at least for now, at Puchov. That is gutting, you know. I really thought Oberhausen were going to be my first German team. Maybe my approach to interviews needs to improve after all. Right, here we are for the draw then. Right, here we go then. A Icelandic team against us. Maybe we can beat them. Iceland aren't that good, are they? Never heard of these, like. They're a bigger reputation team than us, and they have quite a cool logo. But their stadium capacity is not as big as ours, and our bank balance is better than theirs. It might be possible. Oh my god, they've got players on like $4,000 a week. Wow. Maybe not then, but we'll see. There's the rest of the draw for anybody else who's interested. I'm really struggling with getting players in on trial because I'm getting recommended all these English players and they want so much money. Like, he's not going to be interested. So this little cheesy trick to get players in isn't working. Mikhail Siplak doesn't want to join even though he's Slovakian. Traitor. This guy, right? I don't know how good he is. He wants star player and he wants 2.3 grand a week. We can't afford that. Our top earners are on like 500. So we're pretty desperate. We're in a good position for a rebuild. There's lots of wage budget available, 3.5 grand. I've moved a bit over the transfer budget in an attempt to get in Yakubu, but I don't think that's happening. And we have a few bids in. Peter is a scout. Tigana, the keeper that we had in last season, I'm going to try and get him back in as the starting keeper because he ended the season quite well, even though he conceded 16 in 10. He got a 6.98 though. It's hard. It's a very hard save, but that's what I like. The aim for the European campaigns is to get to a league phase, whether that be the Conference League or the Europa League. We've got Dingana. Dingana is in. He will be training as a sweeper keeper on defend. He was a 3-star player last time he was in, and he's shot up for a 4-star player now. Mind you, Fan has as well. I think it's the fact that we've had all those players leave that's improved our star ratings quite a lot. Because Klubs, who was a 3-star, is now 3.5-star. Julian Kozmalski is back from his loan. He's not fantastic, but he'll have to do for now. I'm going to train him as a shadow striker because I've changed the formation a little bit because I thought we had too many supporting roles. We've got a wing back on attack on the left, a shadow striker in, and then this little quartet here are all these supporting roles, and you've got these attacking roles over here and here. So hopefully that's good balance. The analysis seems to think there's a bit of a gap in midfield and at the left back, but I think we're going to have to make that sort of sacrifice if we want attacking impetus. I think we're going to have to just look at loan players straight away because these free transfers that I'm trying to get in want far too much money. So we're just going to have to bolster the team immediately with loans. Zaradnik doesn't want to come back. He doesn't want to come whatsoever, and Jelena don't want to loan us him again. What a player he was for the time we had him. 7.34 he averaged. Didn't get many assists or goals, but he just had everything ticking over nicely. Shame we don't have him this season coming. We have had some good news. Not this bid for Jan Mazaros, but Datko is actually coming to us. He's turned down a different team, this Turkish team. He's turned them down, and he's coming to us for £850 a week. But I think he's quite good. He was averaging over a 7 for Jelena when he was here last, and he's gone off to Greece for a year. But he's back in Slovakia now, and he's our new starting right winger. If you compare Datko and clubs though, I think that Datko is quite clearly superior in pretty much every aspect. Not by a lot, but every little helps, and he's a little bit younger as well, 1 year younger. Clubs played okay in the year just gone, but I think we can do better. He got 11 assists and 4 goals, so I'm not going to get rid of Clubs. He's going to sit on the bench, but he is being displaced by Datko in my head at the moment. And Pite is in as the chief scout. We're getting the whole gang together. Look at his little face. Our left-footed Mozambican Janino. Right, well, this brings us to the end of the video. I was going to show you a little bit more, but the video is far too long as it is. I hope you enjoyed. Tune in tomorrow for the first European adventure with this save with MSK Puchov against the Icelandic team. We've still got lots of players still to sign, and I think I'm going to try and trawl through all the Slovakian players who haven't got a club and get them on the trial to try and bypass that issue with the director of football recommending players that we can't afford. But like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, click a video on screen here if you'd like to. I'll be here tomorrow. I hope you will be too. Bye bye for now.